This is a reverse squat, so I have it set up with band resistance. You can set this up on a cable machine. You can also set up with different bands too. So I took one of our lighter bands that we have, and I hooked it independently on each leg. And I'll show you why I did that. It's because I can work legs independently, but I can also alternate rather than coming up in double hip flexion. So you're gonna lay on your back, okay, keeping that core engaged. You don't wanna let yourself go into extension. So I'm gonna try to keep that low back, that pelvis tucked, and that low back pressing the floor the whole time. Where you're gonna find where it's hard to do that is when I come up into hip flexion, when I let my legs down, that's where my low back's gonna wanna come up. You gotta really fight to not let that happen, okay? So what I'm gonna do is set up in a good position. If you wanna put your hands right at the bottom of your butt cheeks, sometimes that helps. And even sitting up a little bit too, but try not to use your neck, use your abs to stay sitting up. And then I'm gonna lift my legs in a hip flexion. Toes are staying dorsiflex, so my ankles are dorsiflex. You can't let the toes drop or the band's gonna slip off. So I'm gonna lift up in a hip flexion just to where my hips wanna roll off, and I'm gonna go back out straight. And if that's too difficult, you could also just do one at a time, alternating. But you really want to lift as high as you can and maintain in that nice torso position. If you don't have that band option, that's fine. You don't have to loop them independently. You can just loop both feet in the same band. Just be sure that you keep your hips, knees, and toes all in a straight line. A lot of times what happens is those toes want to turn out, okay? Try to keep those toes straight up and down. Also, being that the band is pulling my feet together, try to keep a little bit of space in between your feet. So now that I have more slack in the band, I can scoot back, right? But I'm just doing the exact same thing. And if you had two of these bands, you could put one on one foot, one on the other too, if you want to go individually.